A faithful symbol of peace and security used to stand tall in this community, but shards of yellow police tape now paint a different picture. Sunday, November 5th took so much from Sutherland Springs: life, laughter, obscurity, and innocence. 8 of the 26 victims were under the age of 16.
This was not racially motivated. It wasn't over religious beliefs. There was a domestic situation going on within the family and the in-laws.
While motivation for mass murder is still unknown, the incident happened in a place of worship, a place that residents call the bedrock of their town. Sutherland will never be the same for neighbors Kathleen and Fred Curnow. They were the first ones to call 911.
When this started, we were in the bedroom, but I just can't be in the bedroom. It's almost an anxiety, and I start hearing the shots and the rhythm.
I mean, you felt it very, very close to home.
It sounded like it was in my home.
Bullets hit their car and even ricocheted off of their home. At one point, the shooter aimed directly at their property after a Good Samaritan, as they call him, rushed to their yard armed to stop him.
Actually, he just used my truck to steady himself and shoot at the guy.
Nightmares of that day are affecting them physically. The couple is struggling to sleep and even eat, but they say they're not giving up.
Our faith is stronger after this, and I know that when our time to go to heaven, we will go. And so I need to just remind my husband to back away from that fear and not let that fear control our lives.
Well, this is the most calm that it's really been in this community. Neighbors tell us that there have been generators running, that there's been international media swarming. Of course, there's been tactical units here as well. And, this is a very peaceful area normally. And so finally, after a few days, this is starting to again feel like home. Part of that healing journey involved walking through the bullet-ridden church.
It was extremely calm in there. It was almost as if, the Lord was there saying, this is what happened, but
this is okay.
And I thought about the children in the back suffering and the people laying there suffering. And I went in and there was very little blood. And, what that had been related back to me, my husband says, no, when your heart stops, it stops. And so that tells me that the people that died in there did not sit there and suffer.
When you see that the Bible's been untouched, untouched as, it looked like it's there from day one.
There was no dust on it. There were no fragments on it.
The cross was
nothing.
Unscathed. It was just completely
there's wood
perfect.
chips all over the floor. There's glass on the floor. It had not been vacuumed up or anything. And for those two centerpieces of our faith to just be intact and untouched.
It says something about it.
You folks are right across the street. Are you going to stay?
I want to stay. I want to help the church get where they need to be. And I think that's my focus now is, I was not a member of the church before this. They were my neighbors for 12 years, and they were great neighbors. And, after this, I told Frank Pomeroy, I said, we'll be at services on Sunday. And he says, okay, well, come on. I said, no, we're going to be at services every Sunday.
Also standing in solidarity is the only other pastor in Sutherland Springs.
We're not going to let this shake. We're not going to let this rip our community apart. It doesn't mean we're not going to remember our friends. Absolutely we will, and honor them in what it is that we do here. But we'll rebuild here, and our church will help this church rebuild here.
Whether the church will physically rebuild is unknown. There was talk of a complete teardown, but for now, a public memorial will honor the victims.
When I hug the neck of a friend who's lost someone in their family, I'm emotional. They're emotional, and that's okay. God gave us emotions. Jesus wept at the tomb of his best friend Lazarus when he died, knowing the power of God and knowing the power of God would resurrect him. He still wept at the loss that he had. And so we're kind of doing the same thing. We weep now, but we believe in the resurrection, that we will see our friends again one day in heaven.
26 friends forever bound together by a sacrificial story of faith.